The 27th of May, 2026, Wednesday morning. A reading from the common Buddhist text, guidance and insight from the Buddha. Chief editor of this compilation is Dr. Maha-Dhamma-Kosaja. We are currently in chapter 8, reading from the perspective of the Theravada tradition on meditation. We left off on ānāpāna-sati. This is being mindfulness of breathing, or seating your awareness in the breathing, the in-breaths and the outgoing breaths, the short and the long breaths, and so forth. ānāpāna-sati, mindfulness of breathing. This passage describes the practice of mindfulness. In Pali language, it's called sati. This is the in and out breathing. In Pali language, it's called ānāpāna. And the various states that arise from this in some additional details. It has 16 modes. The first 4 of which develops mindfulness of the body. In some ways, as in the passage, as we covered in the Theravada 138, the next 4 develop mindfulness of feeling, vedana. The next 4 develop mindfulness of the mind, the citta. The last 4 develop mindfulness of reality patterns. This would be the Dhamma, or arisen Dhamma Sankharas. As with the Satipatthana, mindfulness of breathing can be cultivated to develop tranquility, calm, samatha, or samanta, or insight, vipassana, or both. Monks. Mindfulness of the in and out breathing, ānāpāna, developed and constantly practiced, is productive of great fruits and great benefits. When it is developed and constantly practiced, the 4 foundation of mindfulness gets completed. When the 4 foundation of mindfulness are developed and constantly practiced, the 7 factors of awakening get completed. 7 factors, sambojana. When the 7 factors of awakening are developed and constantly practiced, knowledge and emancipation gets completed. Monks. Developed in what manner and constantly practiced is in what manner is mindfulness of ānāpāna, the in and out breathing, productive of great fruits, pala, and of great benefits. The 16 modes of ānāpāna-sati, mindfulness of breathing. Here, bhikkhu, a monk gone to the forest, or to the foot of a tree, or to the empty house, sits in a cross-legged posture. He breathes in mindfully and breathes out mindfully. Breathe it in long, he wisely knows awareness. I breathe in long, breathe out long. He wisely knows awareness. I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he wisely knows awareness. I breathe in short. Breathing out short, he wisely knows awareness. I breathe out short. He trains, reflectively experiencing the entire body, awareness. I breathe in, reflectively experiencing the entire body, Awareness, I breathe out. He trains calming the body activity. I will breathe in. Calming the bodily activity. I will breathe out. He trains in each of the following ways. Awareness, reflectively experiencing piti, joy. I breathe in. Reflectively experiencing joy, awareness, I will breathe out. Reflectively experiencing easeful pleasure, sukha, awareness, I will breathe in. Reflectively experiencing easeful pleasure, sukha, awareness, I breathe out. Reflectively experiencing the activity of mind, awareness, I breathe in. Reflectively experiencing the activity of mind, awareness, I breathe out. Calming the activity of mind, I will breathe in. Calming the activity of mind, I will breathe out. Reflectively experiencing the mind, I will breathe in. Reflectively experiencing the mind, I will breathe out. Increasingly gladdening the mind, I will breathe in. Increasingly gladdening the mind, I will breathe out. Awareness, composing the mind, I breathe in. Awareness, composing the mind, I breathe out. Awareness, releasing the mind, I will breathe in. Awareness, releasing the mind, I will breathe out. Reflectively observing impermanence, anicca, awareness, I breathe in. Reflectively observing impermanence, anicca, awareness, I breathe out. Reflectively observing non-attachment, anatta, I breathe in. Reflectively observing non-attachment, I breathe out. Reflectively observing cessation, nirodha, I breathe in. Awareness. Reflectively observing cessation, awareness, I breathe out. Reflectively observing relinquishments, awareness, I breathe in. Reflectively observing relinquishment, awareness, I breathe out. The modes and their related foundation of mindfulness. Sati of ānāpāna, the in and out breath, developed and constantly practiced in this manner is productive of great phala, fruit, and great benefit. Bhikkhu, monks, developed and constantly practiced in what manner does the in and out breathing complete the fourth foundation of mindfulness? Monks, at whatever time a monk does one of the four above mentioned, at the time that a monk abides in respect of the body, observing the body, possessed of effort, vidya, clearly comprehending and mindfully removing intense desire for the unhappiness with the world, I say that the in and the out breaths are certain activities in bodies. Therefore, bhikkhus, monks, at such time, a monk abides in respect of the body, kaya, reflectively observing the body, possessed of effort, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing the intense desire for the unhappiness with the world. Monks, bhikkhu, at whatever time a monk trains, as in the 5 through 8 above, at that time a monk abides in respects of vedana, feelings, reflectively observing feelings, possessed of effort, I say that close attention, awareness to the in and outgoing breaths is an activity that occurs in relation to or of Vedana feelings. Therefore, bhikkhu, monks, at such time a monk abides in respect of Vedana feelings, reflectively observing awareness, feelings possess of effort. Bhikkhu, monks, at whatever time a monk trains, as in the 9 through the 12 above, at that time a monk abides in respect of the mind, reflectively observing the mind, possess of effort. Monks, I do not speak of the in and out breath to possess of effort. Monks, I do not speak of the in and the outgoing breath to the person whose mindfulness is lost, and to him who is lacking a clear comprehension. Therefore, bhikkhu, monks, at that time a monk abides in the respect of the mind, reflectively awareness, observing mind, possess of effort. Bhikkhu, monks, when a monk trains, as in the 13 through the 16 above, at that time a monk abides respect of reality patterns, reflectively observing reality patterns, possess of effort. Having seen with wisdom and abandoning of intense desire and unhappiness, he is of one who closely looks with upekkha, equanimity. Therefore, bhikkhu, monks, at that time, a monk abides in the respect of reality patterns, reflectively observing reality patterns, possess of effort. Bhikkhu, monks, when mindfulness of the in and the outgoing of breath is developed and constantly practiced in this manner, the 4 foundations of mindfulness become complete. The foundations of mindfulness develop the factors of awakening, bojana. Bhikkhu, monks, develop and constantly practice in what manner do the 4 foundations of mindfulness complete the 7 factors of awakening. At whatever time a monk abides in the respect of the body, awareness, reflectively observing the body, possessive effort, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing intense desire for and unhappiness with the world, his mindfulness becomes closely established and is not lost to a single point. And whatever time mindfulness becomes closely established and not lost for a monk, and at that time a monk develops the awakening factor of mindfulness, of one-pointedness. At that time, for a bhikkhu monk, for the awakening factor of mindfulness becomes complete through development, awareness. He, in this way, abiding mindfully, investigates that state with panya, wisdom, examines it, inquires into it. At whatever time a monk in this way abiding mindfully investigates the states with wisdom, a monk has ventured into the awakening factor of the investigation of Dhamma. At that time, a monk develops the awakening factor of investigation of Dhamma, and for a monk it becomes complete through development. He who investigates a state with wisdom examines it, inquires into it, ventures into the unshaken vigor. At whatever time, monks, for a monk who investigates, examines, and inquires into that state, there is venturing into the unshaken vigor. And at that time, a monk has ventured into the awakening factor of vigor. A monk develops awareness. At that time, the awakening factor of vigor, and it becomes complete for him through development. For a person who has ventured into the vigor arises piti, joy, unconnected with material things. Monks, at whatever time for a monk who has ventured into vigor, arises the joy, unconnected with material things, at that time he has ventured into the awakening factor of joy. At that time, a monk develops the awakening factor of joy, and it becomes complete for him through development. For the person who is joyful, both the body and the mind are calmed. At whatever time both the mind and the body for a monk are calmed, a monk ventures into the awakening factor of samatha or samanta, tranquility. At that time, a monk develops the awakening factor for samanta, tranquility, and it becomes complete for him through development. A mind of whom the entire person is tranquil and is at ease becomes composed. At whatever time the mind of the monk whose entire person is tranquil and who is at ease become composed, a monk has ventured into the awakening factor of the meditative concentration, jhana. At that time, a monk develops the awakening factor for meditative concentration. It becomes complete for him through development. He closely watches with upekkha, equanimity. The mind has been so composed. At whatever time a monk closely watches with upekkha, equanimity, the mind has been so composed for him, there is venturing into the awakening factor of equanimity, upekkha. At that time, he develops the awakening factor for the equanimity and becomes complete through development. The above is then repeated for the situation of one reflectively observing vedana, feelings, the citta, the mind, and then the reality patterns. When the four foundations of mindfulness are developed, this is in the manner of the seven factors of awakenings becomes complete. The factors of awakening lead to the emancipation or release. Bhikkhu monks, developed and constantly practiced in what manner do the seven factors of awakening complete knowledge and emancipation. Here, a monk develops the awakening factor of mindfulness supported by seclusion, non-attachment, cessation, turning towards relinquishment, release, likewise for each of the other six factors of awakening. The seven factors of the awakening developed and constantly practiced in this manner, complete knowledge and emancipation. This can be cited in the ānāpāna-sati Sutra, Majjhima Nikaya, Volume 3, 82 through 88. We will leave off there today on Chapter 8 from the perspective of the Theravada tradition on meditation. As we pick up on the next one on jhanas, meditation, absorptions, or concentration absorptions of the higher knowledges, nānā-dasana, and the formless attainments. A reading from the common Buddhist text, Guidance and Insight from the Buddha. Chief editor of this compilation is Maha Dr. Dhamma Kosachan.